The Rich Man and the Eye of the Needle, a parable of wealth and salvation. The air hung thick with the scent of incense and the murmur of prayers. Old Man Hemmings, his face a roadmap of wrinkles etched by a lifetime of toil and worry, shuffled towards the altar. He clutched a worn leather pouch, its contents heavy with the coins he'd scraped together over decades of backbreaking labor. He'd always been a man of faith, Hemmings. He'd sacrificed for his family, worked tirelessly, and always tried to do the right thing. But lately, a nagging doubt had taken root in his soul. The whispers of the townsfolk, their envious glances, their muttered accusations of greed, they clung to him like cobwebs. They spoke of the words of the good book, of the camel and the eye of the needle, of how difficult it was for a rich man to enter the kingdom of heaven. Hemmings looked around the church. The pews were filled with faces etched with hardship, with the lines of poverty and despair. He saw the calloused hands of the farmer, the weary eyes of the seamstress, the hunger in the eyes of the children. And he thought of his own wealth, of the fine clothes he could now afford, the comfortable house, the overflowing coffers. Was this truly a blessing, or a curse? He knelt before the altar, the pouch of coins heavy in his hand. He prayed, not for more wealth, but for forgiveness. For forgiveness for the sins of pride, for the sin of allowing his wealth to distance him from his fellow man. He prayed for the strength to use his wealth not for his own comfort, but to alleviate the suffering of others. As he left the church, a sense of peace settled over him. He knew that true wealth wasn't measured in gold, but in the love we give, in the kindness we show, in the lives we touch. The eye of the needle, he realized, wasn't about the literal impossibility of a rich man entering heaven. It was a metaphor, a warning against the dangers of allowing wealth to corrupt the soul, to blind us to the needs of others, to harden our hearts. Hemmings walked away from the church, a new resolve in his step. He would use his wealth to build a well for the village, to provide food for the hungry, to offer shelter to the homeless. He would use his wealth not to hoard, but to share, not to accumulate, but to give. For in giving, he knew, he would finally find true riches, the riches of a soul at peace, the riches of a life lived in service to others. This story explores the theme of wealth and its impact on spirituality. It aims to portray a nuanced perspective that acknowledges the potential dangers of wealth while emphasizing the importance of using wealth for good. Biblical perspective. The Bible does not explicitly state that all rich people will go to hell. However, it does contain verses that suggest that wealth can be a barrier to entering heaven.